while I started in year 2000, the first 4 years were rather quiet. After that we got the first explosion of Symbian malware, which started from year 2004 and continued until 2007. That was the older version of Symbian operating systems. Then Symbian operating system changed to be more secure, and thus the amount of malware dropped until the malware authors learned how to cope with new Symbian, and things increased. And then if you look at later, we saw that in year 2010 we got the first explosion of Android malware, and now things are a bit quieting and then picking up again. So if you look at the situation right now per quarter, so it varies a bit, but what can be seen that especially Android platform is right now targeted heavily by mobile malware authors, and we are seeing a constant stream of new, either completely new variants or completely new families or variants in already existing family. Right now at F-Secure I think that we have been seeing about 600 new families of variants, but the amount of unique infected files is between 8,000 to 10,000, because if one detection catches the malware, we do not consider that to be a new major variant in our counting. Otherwise, keeping track of things would become quite impossible. And if you look at the mobile malware, the situation is quite different on PC and mobile. On PC, what we are nowadays seeing is try-by-download malware, which means that the malware authors use exploit kits in order to infect users, just so that they get user to visit the website, or they compromise an otherwise clean website and infect users' PCs or Macs that way and take over the computer. And the fact is that doesn't matter whether you're running a PC or Mac, if you're running unpatched version of operating system, you are pretty much likely to get infected if you get a bad luck of hitting an exploit site. In mobile, the situation is much more quiet. Right now, what we see is almost 100% Trojans that are being installed by user. They are either Trojans that have been hidden inside a clean applications, so somebody has been Trojanizing an otherwise clean application, or they are completely fake applications which have a fake minimal user interface and the whole file is malicious. But on both cases, the malware infection is based on user installing something else than he is thinking that he thinks he is installing. So it's all based on fooling user to install something on his phone. Of course, the question is why malware authors would do that. The number one reason why mobile malware has been created is to make money. So right now the guys are very amateur compared to PC world. But that is going to change when some of them strike gold and make big money, and that will attract more serious players to the mobile market. The picture you are seeing here on the screen is actually from police raid on the one PC malware author. Those are motherboard boxes and shoe boxes full of US dollars. That's what the malware authors are making when they are doing it good. Right now situation is not that bad on mobile, but the guys who are using mobile malware to make money are trying their best, of course. The monetizing schemes we have seen so far are premium SMS messages, premium voice calls, subscribing users to premium services, banking attacks, fake applications, and even as simplistic as taking existing clean applications, free versions of them, or then cracking paid version of application and redistributing these with advertisements in order to make money from the advertising. And do please ask questions, otherwise this is going to be a half an hour monologue. I will not have much time before I have to head back to Finland, so I will not have time for question and answer sessions. So if you have any questions, please ask during the presentation. I don't mind to be interrupted. So when we are talking about these Trojans, the most simplistic type of Trojan we have seen are trivial standalone Trojans. These Trojans are malware which have no beneficial functionality whatsoever. They have they might be, most typically they might be just an installer with a tempting name, which then shows an error dialog, or then they have a fake user interface, but it's only for show. The only functional part of such a simple standalone Trojan is the payload. And very typical example of that would be Saiva.a, which was redistributed around Valentine's Day, or distributed around Valentine's Day during this year. This was pushed into Russian Android markets, which is quite obvious from the language. And what user thought is that he is installing an fake a Valentine's Day application. And when user installs the application and runs it, it displays a fake loading screen, sends a premium rate SMS message on the background to generate revenue for the malware author, and then shows a message in Russian saying that there was an error, please try to restart the application. And then it's based on the user's credibility how many times it tries, and every single try will generate money for the malware author. Such simple applications are of course less than ideal for malware author because they are quickly discovered and quickly removed from the market. So what the more advanced malware authors do is that they take an existing popular application and Trojanize it. And typically they do it from batch of 20 to 50 to 100 to even 500 different applications, and then push these applications either in the third-party Android market or into even official Google Android market with a new name, for example saying that this is a free version of some popular application, new version of some popular application, Estonian translation of popular application, or whatever. How custom they make their Trojanizing depends on the number. If it's a mass attack with hundreds of variants, they are simply uploaded there. If it's custom made, then they try to make it to look more tempting. And then users download these Trojans thinking that they are downloading perfectly valid installations of whatever application they are looking for. And since this is a Trojanized application, the user will get the original application and he will happily use that. He installed something for himself, just like any other time before. However, this particular installer also contained a Trojan payload that starts in the background and starts to do whatever it wants on the system. Malware author downloads the original installation packages, modifies them, puts these into Chinese, Russian, or some other regional application store, because it has to be regional because they have to have some kind of a monetizing method, and those are usually national. And then he uses SMS sending, premium voice call, or something else in order to generate profit. And I'm all the time speaking of Android here because that is the target right now. Technically nothing would prevent doing this from iPhone, and it is all the time being done on Symbian. On lesser scale than Android, but it is also happening on Symbian thanks to the large installed base of Symbian devices. But since, as Stephen Ellop said, Symbian is going away, I'm not focusing too much on my talk of that in my talk today.